So in assignment number 2, we are dealing with a lot of different special effects, gradient, fill, and opacity, and blur effects in Illustrator. And of course, I will show you the different approaches on how to do that. Okay, let me start with the fresh artboard here. Okay, this is my 8x11 horizontal format. That was the instruction in Adobe Illustrator. You need to create a 2x2 square. You need to check the dimension, which is this one on the right hand side on the properties panel. It says here the width is right now at in point system. You have to change that to inches first by going to your preferences in the preferences and go to your unit. The unit says change that to inches. Again, I have to emphasize the importance of checking the dimensions in the properties panel. Otherwise, you're bound to create a lot of mistakes if you don't do that. So now it is in inches. So just change that to 2x2 and then click enter. And now you have your first box. And all you have to do is just duplicate this by pressing on Ctrl C and then Ctrl V. And then you have your second box, and change that to a 1x1 inch small box. Now to put this on in a center alignment, go to your properties panel again and go to align. So this one will align the two elements. All you have to do is just go to align center and vertical align center. So these two boxes is basically aligned. It's basically aligned within its dimension. And this is the position, the X and Y value. Remember that I have indicated in the instruction that you have to position it with an X and Y value. This is where you check it. Duplicate this. It's just the same process. You just Command C and Command V, and the same process again, and continue the same process until you have your 9 boxes. To be able to align this properly, just a quick way of doing it, I would probably just group it, and Command G is to group this all together. Command G, Command G. Again, do the same process of alignment by highlighting the 3 boxes, and then all you have to do is just go to vertical align center. And then the next step, if you want to spread the 3 boxes with equal spacing on each one, and then go here on the align options and go to distribute objects by horizontal distribute center, and there you go. That will bring all your boxes with equal spacing on its sides. Okay, and then all you have to do is just put these boxes on each layer. In my instructions, I ask you to create 6 layers. For example, this is my second layer, and then I have to name this as shape number 2, and the first one is shape number 3. And the first one is shape number 1. So that's how you create your layers. Just go to the bottom icon here with the plus sign. Just click on that, and it will create a layer. Apply colors is properties panel again. Double check the properties. This is now a group object. So go to your object navigation icon here, and then you'll have to ungroup this. Okay. In the properties panel, you will find appearance, and there you can see the fill, the stroke, and the opacity. So these are the 3 things that you are going to play around with first. Click on the fill, and you have the CMYK values here. And if you need to fill this up with 100% magenta, just type that 100%. And click enter. And if you want to put in 100% yellow, and that's how it's going to look like. It's now going to look like a pure red. This is a combination of 2 colors, and with a small box you will have to do the same thing. Double click on the fill icon box, and if you have to change the settings on magenta, for example, you need to put 10%. Just type in 10% and 100% for the yellow, and you will end up with some sort of a yellowish shade. And that is your first box. And of course, the next thing to do is actually by the way, this one, the first box has a stroke of 0.017 inch. And you can change the setting on the stroke by typing it in at 0.020, and that changes the thickness of the stroke. So in changing the feel of the color, you just go here in the appearance panel. It is here where you can change all of the settings. Two is to change the color, or is to change the fill, is to change the type of gradient. And these are the type of gradient that you are going to use. Number one is linear. The second one is radial. The other one is free-form gradient. Let's go to the linear gradient. So the linear gradient fill has its default setting of black to white. To change that, all you have to do is double click on the first gradient slider, and then you can pick the color that you like to use here. You can change that to cyan, and that is a CMYK color mode. And then click on the other slider at the slider point. You can use yellow. Now you have a yellow to cyan gradient fill. If you want to change the angle of the so highlight the box that you have to edit. Just to let you know, there are three different ways of changing the angle of the gradient. One is through the slider, which is this one here, and you can see the angle icon over here. This is one of the ways of changing the angle. In this example, we have a 0-degree angle which is horizontal. You can change that to 45 degrees, 60 degrees, or you can plug in a number that you'd like to put in there, like say it's 25 and add the number. Okay. Another way of doing this is by highlighting the box that you want to edit, and then click on the gradient tool or press G in your keyboard. You don't see the slider right now because there is a box that covers it. So what we need to do is just take out the box first, the small box inside. So this is a group image, I think. So we have to ungroup this, and now highlight the big box, and then click on gradient tool. Shortcut is G, and there is your slider. You have the option of changing the angle by rotating the slider. This one is the fixed point, the solid point. You can bring it, you can slide it up and down if you wanted to. Okay. And the third way is just to use your cursor and slide it to the direction that you liked. If you like that direction, you can use the center control slider. You can bring it up, bring it down. Okay. So that is the three ways of changing the angle of the gradient.